Once again, we meet this night where the madness delves supreme, and three men create an awesome sight for your ears to see. First, we have the investigator, Old Dapper at Old Andy. You may know him as CCTFW, or we can call him Andy.
Zergrush!
Next is the monster we hunt, a Shoggoth slimy and sticky. It pretends to be in man-shaped shape. The name looks one. It's tricky.
Indeed. Hello, people.
And then there's me, your host and guide, when things get a little stuffy. Me and my lead will help you out. Tiny's current master, Gruffy. A film we three shall watch this eve. A film that's madness spawned. A film of much insanity. A film called From Beyond.
Hello.
That was very good. I liked it. You did a good job, Gruff.
That's the strength that you can come up with a piece of paper when taking a shit. Anyhow.
Let's live and direct from the main streets of Carlisle.
Live direct from the main street to my toilet. So, yeah, you heard correctly, me and Andy are back once again, like a renegade bastard, to talk to you about a film that we watch, a film based on the works of H.P. Lovecraft. And with us today is the irrepressible Tricky.
Yeah, I've wandered into the wrong room.
I've always tried to press Tricky. He's so squeaky.
I feel I've pronounced that wrong.
What?
Irrepressible Tricky. No, that's right. Irrepressible Trick. No, that's right. The irrepressible Trick.
Just rub him down, polish him off, he's fine.
Sure. Oh man, I want to polish off the trick. What's hang on?
That's a different podcast.
It is. Welcome to Dirty, Dirty Things. Right now we're outside Tricky's house, and my trousers are off.
Why are they on my head, though?
Because you're a rabbit.
The mightiest of... I was going to say vermin, but rabbits aren't vermin.
Oh, so yeah? Yeah, in Australia it does stuff.
Well, I'm going to count that as a win for Andy.
Yes. You are a vermin for when we next have the person. You can just look at him straight in the beard and say, "You, sir, I'm vermin." Never explain it. Never say anything, just you.
People just need to accept these things, I think.
Spit on me.
I think that's, again, a different podcast.
Well, let's move on from this. So we will begin, Mr. Tricky, with a question that I ask all who dare enter this abode. When did you first come across the works of H.P. Lovecraft?
It's a question I've given some thought to. I've been aware of him for a long time, sort of like late 80s. I've never really read or watched, well, I've seen things about knowing what it was. It's probably the way to put it. Probably the first time I actually read it was after we had a conversation about 2 years ago.
All right.
When I got the first collected works.
Yeah.
I think it's Mountains of Madness, I think.
Yes, it will be.
And, I read it, and it's a thinker, is probably the best way to put it. It's something that you read, and it kind of stays with you.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't compelled to read anymore because a lot of what he does has been taken by the people. And I found it a little bit... Things were telegraphed, which obviously at the time they wouldn't have been. But now the tricks he uses, they're well established, so it's kind of difficult to read with that knowledge.
I think the best way you can put it is the cliches have to start somewhere. And a lot of cases, the cliches have started within these works. Other people have come along over the years, especially that bastard August Derleth.
Who's August Derleth? Because I've not heard of this person, and some others might not.
August Derleth is the guy who came in after Lovecraft had died. And he took a lot of the elements of the mythos, but added the elements of good and evil to it.
Oh, is he the one that added Christianity into it? Okay, now it's coming back to me, okay.
And a lot of what people think is the Cthulhu mythos and the Cthulhu cycle is actually a lot of Derleth's work. Which is a really strange thing, that the most well-remembered things are the things that weren't actually there. It's an odd one, but there we go.
Yeah, I didn't join the nihilism to it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't kind of matter what you do, you fucked.
Yes, once you've drawn the attention of whatever it is in a certain story, that's it.
Yeah.
It's just how much sanity can you hold on to?
Yeah, if you're lucky.
He sees you. He sees you.
He knows if you're awake. He thinks if you've been bad or good.
So be good. Oh, goodness, I'm not suffocating.
Damn it, that's what I should have done. I should have added some kind of, "I'm sorry about the balls," in fact, little poem at the beginning.
There's always time. There's always
Within the madness of these walls, Andy screams just one more time, "I'm sorry about the balls."
I like it.
So, has anybody read the book?
I thought you were going to say watch the movie. No.
Has anybody watched that? I knew there was something we forgot to do. Has anybody read the short story that this comes from?
I don't think so.
Right. I will run through a quick synopsis of the short story then, just so you get the idea of, people listening get the idea of the difference between this and the movie. The original story is told from the first-person perspective of an unnamed narrator and details his experiences with a scientist named Crawford Tillinghast. Tillinghast creates an electronic device that emits a resonance wave, which simulates an affected person's pineal gland, thereby allowing them to perceive planes of existence outside the scope of accepted reality. Sharing the experience with the scientist, the narrator becomes cognizant of a translucent alien environment that overlaps our own recognized reality. From this perspective, he witnesses hordes of strange and horrific creatures that defy description because it's Lovecraft. Tillinghast reveals that he has used his machine to transport two of his house servants into the overlapping plane of reality because it was cheaper than paying them. He also reveals that the effect works both ways and allows the denizens of the alternative dimension to perceive humans, because what could go wrong there? Tillinghast's house servants were attacked and killed by one such entity, and Tillinghast informs the narrator that it is right behind him. Terrified beyond measure, the narrator picks up a gun and shoots the machine, destroying it. Tillinghast dies immediately after, as a result of nasty things. The police investigate the scene, and it is placed on record that Tillinghast murdered the two house servants, not, for example, the be-tentacled creatures that are currently sitting in the cupboard going...
It will say it. Quiet.
That they can't really be there. So that's the story of the short story, which was published originally in 1920 in the Fantasy Fan. I apologise, I've got that wrong. It was published in the Fantasy Fan in 1934, but it was written...
You son of a bitch, get out.
It was... I'm sorry. Volume 1, number 10, if that helps anything. It was one of the ones that Lovecraft wrote and then kept to one side for a long, long time. What's interesting about From Beyond is the beginning points of the book have a lot in common with Herbert West Reanimator.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the, I want to say the word tropes, I think is the best way of putting it. A lot of tropes are the same in the stories, but it goes off into an entirely different thing and creates the alternate reality story, which is probably one of the first times this has been used. That's the basic point, and is everybody ready to start moving on to the film?
Yeah.
I probably should just add at this point, I haven't seen this.
Oh, right, so we're in for an interesting laugh.
Yeah, I thought I'd actually go into this cold and see what happens.
That's what she said. That's a sex joke.
Oh, dear.
What's sex, Andy?
That's a different podcast, true. That's Late Night Talks with Andy.
Welcome to the Smooth Hour.
That's the podcast you have to pay for on iTunes.
Where Andy's going to tell you about Lovecraft and sex.
Yeah, man. Well, it happens here. Spoilers, tricky. You'll see.
Right, so From Beyond was adapted into a 1986 movie of the same name by Stuart Gordon, who did Dagon, which we did earlier on in the series.
To be fair, that lady who got her arms ripped off did Dagon.
I think more Dagon did her.
Well, potato. He got his nookie in, so...
Fair. Does it really matter who did who when it comes to Dagon's going to have a good old go?
Do you think the fish people talk about that? The deep ones, do you think, oh, that Dagon, did you see him get it off of that lady?
It's more like, do you see that Dagon having sex at that woman? It's like, geez, I didn't have. Oof, turned me right off. I won't be inseminating any humans for a couple of weeks.
Giant inky cloud, I knew he was a bit fast, but come on, Dagon.
Ew, covered in ink. That was a very camp fishman, wasn't it?
Hey, there's no reason why a deep one couldn't be a little bit camp.
Yeah, I'm terror from the depths, but I still like the guys.
He can still be fabulous.
Oh, the idea is that you just got rank upon rank of fishermen, and one of them was wearing a really nice Hawaiian shirt. Just because I live in the water doesn't mean I can't look my best.
It's got a rainbow flag, it's fun.
Stuart Gordon also did a episode of Masters of Horror entitled Dreams in the Witch House, which we will be coming to at some point.
Yay!
Because Dreams in the Witch House is pretty damn good.
One of the few good ones.
Well, Yes. Yes. So anyway, we shall move on to the film, which, as I say, was made in 1986 by Stuart Gordon. So, if everybody's ready, I will begin the countdown, and we shall press play. Everyone is on 0000. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. There's a lion.
In my pants. That's a dick joke.
That sounds kind of dangerous.
That's what the ladies tell me. But it keeps away the nasty men, like Gruff.
Look at that PC.
I always love the 80s and their way of having, how can I put it, science nerds.
He's no nerd. He's not wearing glasses.
But he does have a very fluffy jumper.
She does.
Which looks incredibly itchy.
And look who it is, Andy.
I know.
Look who it is.
I know. Oh my God.
How youthful does he look?
Not as youthful as in Reanimator, but he's still a fine, strapping young man.
He is yet to find a moustache.
Yes. That's the later on in life, you know.
Isn't it amazing how much Coombs is attached to these films?
He really is, yeah. He's everywhere in them. But then again, I suppose that's where he kind of started his whole career with I don't want to say, well, I mean, they are B-movies, essentially.
A lot of these are, yes. I would be hesitant to say that any Lovecraft film, any Lovecraft-based film, well, direct translation has ever been anything other than a B-movie.
Yeah, that's it.
There are Lovecraft-inspired movies. For example, The Thing, which have the big budget. Sorry, I just saw the big ball glowing and that just...
I really do like that shape of that big ball.
Yeah, man. Ooh, look, if you didn't know better, you would say this is another Herbert West film. Just as it starts off, wouldn't you? Which is kind of the thing I was making in the point of before, that a lot of the tropes of Herbert West Reanimator in the book feel the same as in From Beyond. Whilst here, you've got Jeffrey Combs staring at a great big machine.
And a big eel.
I'm sorry, but that's just a schoolboy error.
Hey, they did it in Prometheus with much worse effect.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a scientist. The man would be going looking for a notebook or a camera.
Yes, Tritty, yes.
Handle that big wobbly thing in both your hands, Jeffrey.
In both hands.
Won't let it liquid runs down your face.
It won't be the last time you see the inside of a man. You know what I'm talking about, Gruff.
All right, how the hell did they get that computing powered in that loft?
Science.
Yep. Why isn't it destroying the floor and falling through to the basement? I'm sorry.
It's really well-made science.
You see his house. His house is made of awesome and science. I'm just having a look now to see.
What's wrong, Tricky?
Sorry, I need a half-naked man. Stat.
Yeah, he is only half naked, I suppose. Isn't he, Gruff?
Yes, he is.
He's got a very furry chest and a little pop belly as well, which is kind of funny. At least from this angle. It's weird.
Here we go. The special effects were done by John Carl Belushi and John Narlin, who I think for the most part do a really good job.
Yes, I would say so.
Oh, man. John Carl Belushi did Troll.
Oh, really? The one that's based on Harry Potter? Oh, sorry, the one that...
No, the original. No, the original Troll.
The original Troll.
From 1986.
Because I know one of the Troll movies has Harry Potter in it. Or a character called Harry Potter.
That sounds familiar. I'm not
That's
sure
one of the
why.
Troll movies, I know that. Is the other Troll movie where they turn people into plants to eat them?
Yes.
Okay. The mind of it.
I want to see more. Just starts taking off his clothes. Let's go.
I'm over fencing, yes.
I think what's going to be quite interesting as we go through this film is the fact that, once again, because it's a Stuart Gordon film and he hadn't hit the Dagon style yet, what you get is a gory thrill ride a lot of the time.
Yeah.
and it's not very often I'll say this, but I don't quite mind. Gordon has this way of doing gore that doesn't annoy me.
It doesn't feel forced. It's not like
It's not on Friday the 13th. Oh, Hostel, yeah. Actually.
yeah. Hostel's a good example because there is nothing but, and the dog just died as it jumped out the window.
I was going to say that dog's heading for a sticky end, isn't it?
Oh, it's off to the House of Evil.
I want to join you, Jeffrey.
I'd rather die than live with this old bat.
She ate the last 5 dogs she owned.
Take me, Cthulhu. Take me with you.
Oh, be tentacled Lord. Fit me away from this mad woman.
See, if I was the lady, I would have said, the dog chose its own fate. Sorry.
I've seen enough Lovecraft where this is going.
I mean, did you see how that house looked? You know, you're a sensible human being, so people tell me. Would you go up to a house like that with a big purple window glowing?
Well,
I would, but there's a reason for it.
Okay.
obviously owned by a hippie. I mean, the flag that says don't tread on me.
What, the militant wing of the hippie movement?
That was a secret organization, you know? It's like the Gestapo of the hippies.
No one will suspect us.
And that's how the militant wing of the Salvation Army was born. Hear the film that this woman is she's going to end up inside out very soon.
Shortly after the dog.
Yep. She's going to end up inside out inside the dog.
Oh, God.
Notice that, as yet, no title sequence.
Yeah. What's that boy? Cthulhu's down the well.
Jeffrey? You mean he's Jeffrey? Here's Jeffrey.
That's not how doors work.
You're about to get combed.
I do like this sequence as well, as she's running really slowly, and he's just like, get out of the way, man. Away. No time for this shit. I need to go.
I like how they've got the camera moving here.
Yeah.
This really disorientating movement. It doesn't quite work.
I imagine the poor cameraman, because I'm imagining it was a cameraman with a steady camera harness on, and they are not comfy. Oh. And if he was wearing one, he was having to go down the stairs backwards, which is not fun. I've done it, and it's new.
Yeah. Arrest the man's running for his life.
You quite like the idea of she started screaming. She was screaming so loud, the policeman came and arrested the man. Because let's face it, at no point has anybody said, quickly call the police.
No.
The only people...
Well, she did phone up and say that there was some goings-on over at the house, so...
Goings-on, yes.
I guess they decided just to check it out, because she's one of those people. Here's the title card.
Yep. There you go, Brian Yazuna. Oh, man. I love these hastily created signatures.
Put a wibbly-wobbly effect on there.
Do you not think it was done deliberately, though?
Oh, yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, it feels like if they wanted to, they could have made a, in quotations, better one, but I don't know. This has a nice style to it. Reminds me of Adam West Batman.
It's a lot like the rest of Gordon's output of the time, where it's a little bit camp. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, and it doesn't try to elevate itself out of the station it's put itself in. It tries to stay in this... But it doesn't try to say, it happily sits in this big bowls just marked a bit silly.
I'm a B-movie. Here's my B-movie type. In bright pink.
Oh, man, that pink is gorgeous.
Yeah, nice.
It's co-starring Bunny Summers.
Famous Bunny Summers, man.
Well, it's basically she's a slave. Everything's going to be fine.
Question is that hands or tentacles?
Yes.
I thought it was maggots.
Could be. Could be.
Could be anything. Could be me.
Yeah. I think it's eels.
Mac Alberg. Or is that like Mark Arthur?
Albert Band. It's pretty boss.
There you go. So you always get Brian Yazuna working with Stuart Gordon.
Must be buddies, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But it's always in these Lovecraft adaptions.
Yeah.
This Dagon Castle Freak.
Oh, we did Dagon as well.
Yeah.
We haven't done Castle Freak. Are we doing Castle Freak?
I think we'll probably do Castle Freak.
Was Castle Freak a good one?
No.
Oh.
Well, it's all right. It's got moments of greatness and moments of, ooh, right?
Okay.
Some things just scream asylum, don't they?
Yes, it would be that guy standing over there at Sarah Connor stabbing a man in the neck with a pen.
Oh, I love those 80s glasses.
See, and people wonder why I miss the 80s.
They are very... I bet people who wear glasses do not miss those glasses.
They're fantastic. She's obviously science nerd.
Yes.
You never get the tiger stripe glasses anymore. That's strange.
I'm almost positive my mum had tiger stripe glasses. I'm almost positive because I think everybody had tiger stripe glasses at one point or another if they lived through that decade.
Yes. See, the doctor in the middle used to be hot when she was young and she now resents her for it.
The doctor in the middle reminds me of a rough mushroom. Ding!
Did you see a wrinkles mushroom?
It reminds me of a mushroom. Just not a
I
wrinkle.
was going to say that's mean. I mean, it's hilarious, but wow. You, my dear, look like a wrinkled mushroom. Oh, and here, African-American, take all of my clothing.
Yeah, I was going to mention. Now, there's Lovecraftian themes right there.
Yes, Master.
Oh, Jesus.
Pretty much.
Want me to spit on your shoes there, love?
So is this why Mig stores the sperma?
I hope so.
You don't look in there. There's just Sam Neill. I'm sorry about the balls. Is that Pete Postlethwaite in it?
Looks like him.
There's one guy coming up in a room, and I'm not going to say who it is just yet because I'm hoping Tricky will point it out. But it is basically what I imagine Paul would have been in a not too distant dimension. You will see it.
Where are the keys of the door?
Yeah, it's in this room.
There we go.
You see Paul? The sugar bear.
That's disgusting. I've disgusted myself.
Oh, you know,
So proud.
you're in a padded room all day. What else are you going to do?
I'm a good boy. I don't diddle myself no more.
Do it to apply some sweat.
He was just really scratching his leg.
You'll never be clean, Barbara. Never be clean.
You'll never be clean, Combs. Come hear me. You'll get combed.
Some good use of body language there. I mean, he's obviously terrified of getting far into this corner of the room as possible.
Mm-hmm. Needs a triangular backbone just to be able to get that little bit further.
Yeah. And to make a rubber testicles.
Got a good 9 o'clock shadow going on as well, doesn't he?
The interesting thing about Combs, especially when it comes to the film I mentioned before, Castle Freak, Combs always puts in a good performance. No matter what he's in. I give you the third Reanimator film.
Oh, yeah. The only decent thing about that awful Toss movie. Oof.
Yeah, he's just fantastic.
You can tell he cares.
But yeah, he isn't.
Either that or he acts like he cares really well.
That could be it.
Didn't they take her earrings at the gate?
Yes, they did. No, they didn't. They took a necklace, but not her earrings.
If they did take her earrings, maybe they just grew back. He's got some good sweat patches going on as well, does Mr. Jeffrey?
Just letting the story go on a little bit.
Tell us in the interpretive dance.
How do you feel about his abject error, Mr. Tricky?
I'm not getting fear. I'm getting confused. I don't understand. That's kind of what his body language say. His eyebrows want to be loved. Oh, she knows too much.
Her eyes are really blue.
Yeah.
Like Bruce Timm's like eerily blue, like they're not alive kind of blue.
Yeah.
Something I was going to bring up at a earlier show, but I completely forgot. So I think now's a good time as any, is to talk about how the Lovecraft mythos, and especially Jeffrey Combs in general, inspired a collection of games. Splatterhouse.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the house in the Splatterhouse game series is known as the West Mansion.
Oh really?
Yep, owned by the mysterious Dr. West. And the entire reason all those monsters are about is because of the experiments that Dr. West conducts.
Whoops.
Yep.
Wasn't the girlfriend called Barbara or something?
Yeah, she was.
Did it have blonde hair?
Yep.
Well, she never got licked by a dead head, so she had that going for her. I don't think I could look at my girlfriend in the eyes if I had one, after she'd been tenderized by a head.
What's even more interesting is, where the house is set?
Where?
The house is set in Arkham. Yep.
Of course it is. Is it next to the Miskatonic University?
Everything else is.
Well, I suppose this guy was sent there as well, or at least he was there doing physics, as they briefly mentioned earlier, which is kind of nice.
Well, Dr. Henry West is alive and teaches at the Miskatonic University, in which Jennifer Willis and Rick Taylor attend in Splatterhouse 2. So there you go.
Everything comes back to fucking Arkham.
Yep.
No one should ever go to Massachusetts. Ever.
No, it's a very bad place.
Even if Arkham is, in quotations, a fake place, if it just don't go there anyway, people should just evacuate the area.
I didn't mention it earlier on, but did anyone notice the address on the house at the beginning?
No.
It was number 666.
18 the hard way.
And there's a character coming up later on called Dr. Pretorius. Anybody? Anybody?
Haven't we seen Dr. Pretorius?
Yes, he was in
Pretorius.
He's already been in, but anybody for Pretorius? Anyone want to get that link?
No.
He was the doctor that seduced Henry Frankenstein to the dark side.
Oh.
But the character that's coming up is Dr. Block, which is Robert Block, the author of Psycho.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's some random bits of info for you.
Casual smoking in the lab.
Well, they're only insane. This is how you passively aggressively get rid of your patients. I did find that the detective looked a bit like Alec Baldwin as well.
See, she's clearly fallen in love with him already, but is that the invasion of Cthulhu into his mind? Or is it the, I can fix him, I hear a broken dove here that I can weed back to health?
I can fix everything.
Maybe it's just because he's fucking Jeffrey, and it's like, damn.
He is wearing a fine shirt.
Yeah.
You lost a jumper.
Jeffrey, he's nothing but jumper.
I'm clearly a policeman because I'm wearing this coat. And thus she got her first boyfriend.
Well, she does try quite a few new things in this story, this movie, doesn't she, Gruff? Doesn't she?
I don't know what you're inferring. Inferring. Good God, I can't get the words out tonight.
She does at least 2 new things that you never would, most people wouldn't think of doing.
Oh, poor Barbara. With your face. It's all going to go horribly wrong. Because you've got Herbert West. Wait, hang on.
I would be so good if they did mention an incident at a local hospital recently. Yeah, or like one of the security guards in the asylum's just like listening, and it's just like an incident at the hospital today, or yesterday, or 2 weeks ago, or something, or last month.
Has anybody noticed the shirt, by the way? Yep.
The shirt.
Yep. Oh, T-shirt at university. Like every other one of Golden's films, the Miskatonic University shirt, sweatshirt, or jumper finds its way in.
Have you seen the Miskatonic University rings you can buy?
No. Are they like alumni rings or something?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Does anybody know who this dude is?
He's Hooky Bear.
No, it's Keenan's dad from Keenan and Kel. Yeah. Oh, God. That's where I knew him from. I was like, it's Keenan's dad.
Ken Faria. That van's full of own shit.
It's full of Fago. It's what it's full of. Okay. And if anybody knows what Fago is, I may have just made an incredibly racist joke, for which I apologize.
No, you don't.
Benevolent Street. Number 666, Benevolent Street.
Why would anybody live there?
Because it's better than Death Street at all. Elm Street.
So, yeah. Well, Elm Street, you could live in it as long as you're not prone to going to sleep.
Why would you have a character called Bubba Brownlee?
Because it's an awesome name.
So where are we going now? We're off to hell. Let's go. Is that Sam Neill over there? Yes. Kicking a man in the balls. Where you're going, you won't need balls to see. Hang on.
Now, here's something they should have done in that movie. You know when he goes, "Oh, you've read the book, yeah? You should have seen this coming." He should have just kicked him in the nuts.
Well, he kind of did that with a guy and shoving an axe in his head.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. One you can walk away from.
So it's something quite like making sure you can't walk away from somebody with an axe in the head.
Well, I was going to say, so we're saying that he decapitated him, buried the axe in the door, and then got arrested.
Yep.
Yes. And then went to an asylum.
And the dog ate the body.
Yes. Possibly.
So we're looking for a fat...
Yeah. We're looking for a fat dog with an arm sticking out of its ass.
The fattest of dogs. My God, that 80s fashion.
Love it.
It's amazing. This movie came out before I was born, a year before I existed.
Thanks, Andy.
So that's why nobody likes you.
That's why I've taken a hit out on you.
Yay.
I do love the coat. It's like, am I wearing a skirt? Am I not?
It's the coat and ridiculous heels that gets me.
And shoulder pads.
Yep. It's the two-in-one that doesn't quite work. It's like the long trench coat with the white trainers.
Yeah.
It's something I never quite got.
Take that, Matt Smith.
Though you gotta love the brown leather jacket with the white polo neck shirt.
Dude looks suave.
It's not polo neck, turtleneck.
This guy's off to a club after this.
He's off to see Black Dynamite. Join the militant people.
But Bubba, I sell drugs in the community.
So I blinked. That
Sounds like got a mouthful of monster dick. There you go, Tricky. There's your answer. How do you power that? With power.
I didn't ask about the power. I asked how the fuck did they get it up there?
Metal struts.
Well, you know what? In Back to the Future 2, Tricky, they just need more. Wow.
You know what they said in Back to the Future 2? Do. Answers everything. Also, another way of answering it is fuck magic, science.
Oh, I think I've just found my first tattoo.
What fuck magic, science?
Yes.
It's a picture of a dragon holding a science book. It's a stupid vial. No. Now, this is where things start to get a little interesting because the house becomes just as much as a character as anybody else.
Well, parts of the house do.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the basement.
Yes.
This is who lives in a house like this?
Oil drums, it's over to you.
Oh, yeah. Why do they have oil drums?
How is it going to power the power?
Generator.
Yeah, powering the power.
This is 1986.
What on earth?
Yeah, I think twice before knocking on that door.
Welcome to the sex room.
Hey, pretty much.
He first pair of breasts as well, Tricky. Of the movie, I don't mean like ever.
We've done the whipping, let's do a bit of choking.
What I find interesting is apparently there is an extended director's cut of this coming out at some point.
What, of this sex scene? Just the scene?
Of this film.
Really?
Yes.
What, they adding to?
Coming out later on this year. It doesn't say. It just says it's an extended director's cut. I will just find the What You Do on Amazon.
Happiness is a jumper and an axe.
Oh, crikey. If I'd known, on March 26th, Scream Factory will release a collector's edition of From Beyond on a Blu-ray DVD combo pack.
So look forward to next week's one.
Yeah, so there you go. But the reason I bring it up is because the MPAA required massive cuts to the S&M footage and gore.
So does that mean in the new version we're just going to have more S&M?
More S&M and more gore. That's very Naked Weapon, Naked Gun, is it?
It's, yeah. When you rolled around the body, there was no head, but stop.
Well, no, that's what that's what was left. There was only a little stump.
That's what she said.
It's just a shame there isn't some kind of hieroglyphics next to it.
I was looking for a little dog outline next to it. He's been stood in that corner for 20 minutes.
Because he's like birds. If he can't see any light, he thinks it's nighttime and sleeps. That's not the character. That's just Jeffrey Combs. You put a bug in his head and all you hear is snoring.
With visions based on movement.
You ever seen the Jeffrey Combs eating a velociraptor? Because I have.
Clever Jeffrey.
I love the look of the machine.
Yeah.
The machine is just 80s wonderfulness. I'd love to know what went into it, because I bet you there's parts of like a coffee maker and stuff in that.
Lots of bits of plumbing, I would guess.
Mm-hmm. It's like the flux capacitor is in fact a coffee maker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a coffee maker with some lights on.
Nice.
This is up to 25 kilobits of RAM.
That was far easy back in the day, man. That can power North America.
Would you like to know something about computing power, which I find fascinating? You know NASA?
I'm familiar with them.
You would expect NASA to have huge amounts of up-to-date, super powerful, super cray stuff, wouldn't you?
Nope.
I'd hope so, but no.
Because too much can go wrong. The shuttles are using stuff that's way out of date.
Didn't you hear about that? They were buying stuff off eBay.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's pretty much how I found out about this. I just find that incredible.
Well, no, because it has to be bulletproof. It has to be stuff that's been used for decades.
Yeah, the stuff that has every kind of issue has been worked out of.
Yep.
Wait, you're saying they don't want Windows 8 for an operating system?
Touch screen to launch.
Why are we going underground?
That's it.
Oh, Bubba man, you dare eat dumplings.
It's the chef. This is the origin of chef.
Check out my chocolate-scented bowl. I like his gun holster.
Hey, slipper
What's he
lady.
looking out the window?
Hey, slipper lady. Ooh,
What the fuck's that dog doing to my rose bush? I've not eaten my dog. I don't own a rose bush.
Hey, baby, you ever been touched by Dago?
Don't do it, you sick freak.
You will be. He's not sick. He's just seen some shit and
Seeing things that the other guy, weren't you?
Here's another interesting fact for you. From Beyond, if shot in America, would have cost $15 million. Right? Yeah.
when it was done.
Gordon took it to Italy, where it was done for $2.5 million. The entire film was shot in a soundstage just outside of Rome. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy.
What's even better is, the soundstage was originally built for Dino De Laurentiis. Right?
I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm. But he couldn't use it because by that point he'd not been paying his taxes. So the government nicked it off him and sold Vampire Studios.
Nice.
She took a screwed on the costume, didn't she?
Oh yeah.
She gets some more variety later on down the line, doesn't she?
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Do you remember when lady shirts had to have buckles all in them? What was happening there?
Well, you may have noticed by this point that we're not really going into the usual kind of depth that we do for these shows. The reason for it being, right now, for a big chunk of the first half of this film, it's not anything special. Yeah, it moves very slowly.
Yeah.
There isn't many of the usual prevalent themes that you'd find, apart from this guy is a little bit mad, and there's two people with him who aren't. But they will be eventually.
Yeah, he's seen things, and he's going to show that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he doesn't want to. He's been told to show them. Otherwise, he's going to be locked away forever.
But as Sam Neill says, it's safer in here than it is out there. Don't you? Sam Neill didn't know better. Response to any kind of Cthulhian monstrosity. I do want to see him kick a raptor in the balls, though.
Albeit, one says, sorry, I kicked you in the
All
ball.
of these massive oversized switch case.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they're very awesome. I'm sad I got to use something like that.
Well,
Oh, come on. You know you'd like to flip a switch like that.
It doesn't want to.
It's really threatening. She likes if you want.
Ooh, wobbly desk.
What we can do if you really want is we'll just take your computer apart and just put that in instead of an on-switch here. A couple of Tesla coils on the side. Oh man, actually, can I do this for myself?
Hobie.
I've always wanted a Tesla coil.
It's all fun and games till someone loses an eye.
Or the Tesla coil. It's all fun and games till somebody gets burnt to death.
Yeah.
Potato
Or gets turned into a hat and transported and ruthlessly cloned.
Yeah, you should read the Callahan Chronicles.
I'm scared. I'm also very horny. So am I.
That's my entire life. I like how Bubba kind of looked at them and just kind of looked away and...
I don't understand.
Good dig for those puppies.
What shit? Welcome to the Not a Racist podcast. We've done it years.
we could make it a lot worse.
Oh, yes.
And it would be thematic, you know?
Well, kind of. I don't really want to go into the entire race thing about Lovecraft's work because we went into that in quite some detail in an earlier show.
Yes.
I don't want to carry on harping on that one.
He did.
I've never quite understood this, right? You've opened a portal to another dimension. So why did the underlings go through first? If these things are desperate to get onto our plane of existence, shouldn't they be like sticking an arm through and then crushing these guys to death?
It's not really opening a portal kind of thing. It's more like we're seeing what is always around us and allowing them to see.
The best way I can describe it is the two planes of existence are in sync.
Yeah.
Think quantum string theory.
Yes. Science.
Where it's just changing a naked man. Excuse me.
Now, Tricky, you did say a half-naked man, so here's you are your lucky bastard. Here's the full show. He's got furry shoulders like Chuck Norris.
So he's got two bodies.
Was he?
What is in the morgue?
Maybe.
I like to think that this is kind of his spirit.
I assumed it was the creature that bit off his head.
He just took his face.
I know the mind took over the creature.
And grew all the hair.
There is a lot of hair.
Yeah. There he is. He's wearing it. No wonder Jeffrey got that jumper. It was made from the...
This success out paving.
Hey there.
God, yeah, thank you so much, high definition.
That's awesome.
Didn't you find it unnecessary to see the crack in the scientist's arse?
No, I wanted to see the fur in it as well.
Wow, he's going way too close to a naked man.
Not just a naked man, smiling. Naked, sweaty too, or juicy. I think juicy is probably the best way to describe him. Barbara was a little bit turned on there, as she saw. She's like, touch him.
Touch him. Treat him like pussy.
There we go.
He's made out of Play-Doh. I didn't like that transition between him ripping his face off. That was a bit silly.
Silly and unnecessary. But as I say, Gordon does camp. Well, it's Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Gordon does camp gore. Or he used to. He's kind of calmed things down. Although that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very. Yeah, splitting down the middle. Oh, that's just like me in the shower every morning as well.
Oozing.
Yeah, constantly. You can't stop it.
You know, I think I might have mentioned the Titus Crow books before.
Yeah.
There is a sequence in The Burrows Beneath, the first of the Titus Crow books, and the best of the Titus Crow books, in all honesty. I recommend that one big time. Where a man who has been made out of a shoggoth turns up.
How was he made?
Made out of a shoggoth. Basically, his brain is in a shoggoth. And
that's unfortunate.
It's like shoggoth plasm. Ooh, speaking of plasm.
Sure. Yeah, please do.
It is, like shoggoth plasm. And it gives him a body and it gives him a certain amount of time to be able to go and talk to Titus Crow and his sidekick. And that, when Combs touches that guy, that's the kind of thing I was thinking of.
What he popped in?
Basically, his body was that amorphous blob that is just being held together by the force of sheer will.
That makes sense.
He only had a certain amount of time to pass on a message before the body kind of fell apart. Or in this case, exploded. Will you two stop falling in love?
I liked how his eyes went right across her boobs and then up to her face.
He's doing an Iggy Pop.
Is that
If you watch any film with Iggy Pop in, he usually cops a feel of somebody right there on camera.
He's got to get his money's worth.
The most important one is The Crow 2, where he really does have a good old feel.
I don't think I've seen
You're a
the Crow 1 and the thing that was... I think watching The Crow 1 was enough.
I liked The Crow 1 when it was 1995.
Yeah, I'm sure I would have done. I didn't see it then.
It's the first film I ever owned on VHS, that.
Jesus, really?
My first VHS player.
Oh.
It was the only film I owned for about 6 weeks. I got watched. Oh God, that got watched.
I'm old. Empire Strikes Back.
It's less to do with old and more to do with I didn't get a video player until I was... Let's not think about that anymore. Moving on.
So, essentially, this film is over. They know he's not crazy. They can go and acquit him.
Yeah.
It should be. But as Mikey would say, dear lovable Mikey, bitches are crazy.
Wants to see more evil.
Apparently so. I would have said that's enough, personally. Actually, this entire scene is the men saying to the lady, let's go home, we've seen enough, and her going, nah, it's fine. And you know it's not going to be fine, because it's a horror movie.
Although, interesting thought, sorry. It's the woman here who's pushing the story. Good Lord, what is wrong with me tonight? Pushing the story. She's pushing the story forward.
Is that patronizing because she's a woman? Is that
I got a bit racist and sexist. I'm giving up. Consider this my retirement from podcasting. I am obviously a horrible human being.
There's people in the street rejoicing.
Oh.
Twitter suddenly has a moment of celebration.
What, and it's a scene from Star Wars, Return of the Jedi.
It's the scene from Deep Rising.
Oh, God.
Just loads of people running around from giant worm creatures.
Backstory.
Anyway, my point is, there's a woman pushing the story, for God's sake, the story forward here, which is something that it never happened in any of Lovecraft's tales. Women were either for God's sake, this is driving me insane. They're either ornamental to the storyline or a victim. So it's interesting to see that Gordon had a female character who, let's face it, is very young to be a psychologist, pushing the story forward that little bit.
Maybe she ensured her way to the top.
Speaking about her being too young, the studios actually said that they didn't think anybody would believe that she was a fully fledged psychologist.
But they put glasses on her?
Yeah.
They tied her hair up and gave her an awful outfit?
So the hair's down, I don't believe.
The hair's down.
She looks like a young Linda Hamilton.
Oh, God.
There's an image for you.
Oh, no, Jeffrey's whacking off in my face.
Did you say Jeffrey's whacking off in your face?
Whacking off, yes.
Okay.
Well, you can find the tool shed.
Or a caravan.
That was a hell of a night. I'm sure I saw fish snakes.
And she's wearing an incredible nightie, and the blanket is also terrible.
You just really wanted to pull the blanket off and she's got tentacles.
I've been waiting for you. I've been dreaming about you, Jeffrey.
Should I get dressed before I go to the scary lab?
No! Why would you?
She's wearing a sensible nightie and sensible slippers.
Don't...
Look, this is not for a walk.
Griff, they ain't slippers. They're her shoes that she was wearing most of the time beforehand, I think. I know slippers. My gran has slippers. They ain't slippers.
They ain't tassing, they ain't slippers.
It's a question.
Yes,
Why is she obsessed with this thing?
because the pituitary gland's been enlarged,
Mhm.
and I assume that it's like it becomes a slight drug addiction. It's like, oh, you want to get me bigger, don't you?
She just wants to see more Marvels.
I guess, yeah.
That's a hell of a poster.
Is that what the Marvel comics should see? Want to see more Marvels? Increase your pituitary gland.
Well, no, but this is the question, isn't it? Is once you open that door, you have a hook in you. You are constantly pulled towards it. Yeah, but he isn't.
And neither's Bubba.
Do you think it's because Bubba is too unimaginative? What I mean is, Bubba is a very straightforward, to-the-point type of guy. He doesn't have any flights of fancy to him. What he sees is what he sees.
Yeah.
And that's why it isn't getting to him, that lack of imagination. And Coombs' character, he's turning into the Guyver.
So what's his name? He's turned to Megamind.
And Combs is just full of fear because of what he knows what this thing is.
You fucking bitch.
I can see right through your top, my dear. Thank you, HT. And obviously,
You make him a pineal gland bigger.
that's your penile gland.
No. Resist, Jeffrey. Resist the slutty lady.
Nom, 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 nom. I'm sorry, I don't care how much a woman's coming onto my face.
You're on wine too.
Sorry, went somewhere else with that. I do apologize.
No, I was right there with you, Tricky.
When I know that gooey nastiness is coming my way, I want to turn the machine off. Read into that what you will.
Well, gooey nastiness does explode here, I suppose. I become a sexual monster. There.
Once again, not quite Lovecraftian. More Nurglish.
Yes, actually, yeah, he is a bit nurgly.
It's Swamp Thing.
He also does
He makes your heart sing.
Get over here.
It is a mob.
Toxic Crusade.
Oh, yes, we're actually getting up to one of the points that I made earlier. Like, she is about to experience a new thing, Mr. Tricky.
Okay.
You'll see it. It's implied. You don't actually see it, but it's certainly implied. Is it not, Gruff?
Oh, yes.
He's left the portal open and the girl in peril.
Yeah, because Jeffrey's smart. He says, fuck her.
Yeah, he's a fucking douchebag.
No, he's a smart man. I'd say fuck off and leave as well. I love this tackle as well down the stairs. It's amazing.
There is nothing quite like being tackled by a large black man in a pair of tiny orange underpants.
Yes, I did question his choice in colour of his underpants, not his skin.
What are you doing? Oh, God. So, you've seen a Rustic Doji, have you?
Do you see what I was suggesting, Tricky?
Yeah, I'd say once you've got interdimensional, you never go back.
You can't. Oh, God. Dude, did you have to point?
It's a brave choices that happen.
The last time I'd seen anything like that was in the first Evil Dead movie with the tree rape scene.
Yes. Which I think is what a lot of these films are trying to be, isn't it?
Ah, yeah.
They're all trying to hit that level of maybe not the first one, maybe the second one more than
The one that was more fun and I think much more entertaining.
It was just a better film.
I think so.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not sure how to put this, but she doesn't really have the chest to be a scream queen.
No. Now we're getting Lovecraftian.
Blub, 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 blub.
Naked. Go on, Bubba. See, if nothing else, you've got to admit, dude's hard.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. Jeffrey's nimble.
That's why the ladies love Coombs. He's like a cat.
I think you can say it's because he's like milk trays.
What?
I don't know. Dude, that's a really bad idea. You're now covered in water.
Yeah, let's start with the electronics. Yeah, that's a good idea. Ooh.
Less sexual, more eat in your face. I quite like the mirroring of that. Her head's getting eaten, his head's getting eaten. Now you get thrusted around by a large black man.
Zedmesk.
I am rescuing him from his virginity. Worst place in the world. Oh, good. Thank you, HD. Thank you. So,
What did you see?
let's just say, due to the fact that the underpants were now wet,
Oh, you saying they were clinging a bit tighter.
I saw full balls and junk there.
Did you see where Keenan came from?
Yes, I did. I saw both Keenan and Kel.
Did they look like they liked orange soda?
They're going to work in a fast food restaurant very soon.
Oh man, Good Burger. No.
The beast in the basement reminds me of Tremors.
Yes.
Hmm.
Halfway point between Drummers and the thing in the second Conan film.
Oh, yeah.
The second Conan film? Was it? No, Red Sonja. I apologise.
Never a second Conan film.
Yes. Look, now Jeffrey Combs looks a lot like Lex Luthor.
That would have been a really interesting cast instead the awful dude they had in Kevin Spacey.
Mm. Kevin Spacey was good in that film. He was just given a terrible script to work with.
Yeah, maybe I can believe you there. I just don't remember liking that movie at all.
No, because it was awful.
I've just realised she went into the attic without any glasses on.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't need it. Her pineal gland is now huge.
Yeah. It's aroused. I suppose technically at this point it has been aroused. All of their glands have been aroused.
Indeed. That's why Bubba was running around in tiny, tiny shorts.
Yep. Her hair never goes back up, and I don't think she ever puts on her glasses again at this point.
Nope. Which is an interesting point to make, especially with Stuart Gordon's films. And a few others, actually, where all of these films that are based on Lovecraftian properties have this element of sexuality added to them, which was non-existent in the original work because Lovecraft was such a non-entity when it came to sex. In a lot of ways, he was actually terrified of women, let alone being terrified of
people,
any kind of sexual encounter.
Oh, you just meant off.
He was terrified of people,
Yeah.
yes. It's why he preferred the idea of letter writing to actually having any kind of social interaction with anybody around him. Throughout his entire married life, he was so cold and distant to his wife, mostly because she made him move to New York and he hated it. So you move him from Massachusetts to New York where it's full of people. Oh, yep, that'll do it. But my point is that it gives you an idea of not only how different the world was when these films were getting made to when Lovecraft originally wrote his books, but how much different it is to make the two medias, basically. Lovecraft's work survived for years and years and years without any hint of any kind of sexualization outside of this man once fucked an ape, which is in one of his books.
What's Lovecraft or just a character in a Lovecraft book?
No, a character in a Lovecraft book. He just realised that his descendant was a giant mad white ape.
And the ape allowed it? Because apes don't seem to be like the kind of creature that just would allow this kind of thing.
Well, from what I can understand from that story, it was the ape side.
Oh, well, all right. I suppose at that point there's not much you can do.
No. If the ape decides it's going to have you, it's going to have you.
Yeah.
I've seen Congo.
I'm worried about Jeffrey.
Because he's bald.
No, because she's
getting older.
I told you she was going to experience new things and get a new wardrobe.
She's getting kinky.
She's getting kinky. Mm-mm.
Is that top racist?
No, because that's his name, Bubba Brownlee. But the point I was trying to make there was just how much this film deals with the sexualization.
You mean like this?
Yes. Which in this case is literally just cheap thrill stuff. It's all it's there for.
It's for the men in the audience to go, wait, what?
Yeah. Well, it's what Gordon always does. It's the slightly camp, gory, and now here's a little bit of sexualization. I think he did a good job, though, in building it into the story. He didn't do a Roger Corman of, oh, look, worms are raping you.
Yeah, what was that from?
Planet.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's one of Roger Corman's.
Yeah, they have kind of justified it here. but it still feels really weird to see it.
It does. It feels really weird.
Yeah, I mean, how as a director, would you approach a lady in your cast and say, okay, we have the scene where you put on this shit and you try and act sexy?
Well, it's the 80s. A lot of, how can I say this without being, without sounding horrible?
You just got to go down the path.
A lot, yeah. It was kind of written into a lot of contracts, basically, where it was, you want to be in movies? Well then.
Be prepared.
You look at the sort of, R-rated and 18-rated action movies at the time, and all of them have the sex sequence in it. The majority of them have the topless scene in it. It's films like Lethal Weapon that didn't have that. And I think even Lethal Weapon 2 had a bit of a topless scene.
They did, yeah.
I want to say it was Patsy Kensit, actually, thinking about it. But I get the feeling that she was dead at the time.
I'm sure it wasn't Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson was topless in most of those.
What about Danny Glover? Get his shirt off.
Now you get me going.
That's all right.
Oh, you got a yeast infection like that, missus.
Lovely.
It's just a weird one. And one I've never quite understood how much Hollywood during the 70s and 80s really did just, and the early 90s actually, did just sort of go, right, you're a woman, time to get it out, lass.
Well, yeah.
You have to be classified as a serious actress for that not to happen.
Like Judi Dench.
Pretty much.
But I can't imagine many would have liked to have seen her get wabs out.
Somebody would have.
Well, yeah.
I like how Brownlee just takes this in his stride. Just, yep.
He does a good job, you know. He resists.
Listen, white sugar, you ain't my type.
You ain't got no ass.
Gonna do to you what the white man's been doing to me for years.
Brave gonna fuck you. Look here, love. If I did you, you'd be broken. I don't want to harm my conscience. Again. I've broken too many white coats before.
Here is a copy of Black Dynamite. Watch it, you'll learn. There you go. Science.
Yes, because those are science words.
I do.
Yes, she is.
I did like the drawn-in electric effects as well.
I love that effect.
Yeah.
I always have to.
It doesn't. It looks really shit now, but it's still kind of nice to see it. That might just show our age again.
Mm-hmm. I think both Terminator and Aliens are the two best examples of that effect.
Yes, and the worst are obviously Power Rangers.
Oh God! Why would you even bring that up?
Because they use that kind of effect where they had to hand roll that stuff in. I'm sure.
I'm fairly sure that on the other side of that, now Ron at the Tep is just sitting there going, you fuckers.
It's really strange because a couple of years ago, a big guy had to hold me up against a mirror and say, "Look at yourself, Andy. Don't you know who you are?" And I went, "No, I don't."
Was it tricky?
I hope. Well, it might have been. I lost my mind after that point.
Was it Gay Satan, wasn't it?
It might have been.
Was it tricky, but he was dressed like Al Johnson? Look at yourself, mammy.
He was more dressed like Al Bundy.
Yeah, guns have no use here.
He did take being thrown against the corner of a desk quite well, I will say. That in most movies would have knocked people out. What do you think of the
covered in bits
little balls? Well, they're not even bees, they're just little balls. Little tiny balls.
Yeah.
I'm just leaving that hanging.
What, little tiny balls?
Yep.
Well, it's what they are.
Little tiny balls.
Tiny balls. Now Bubba obviously goes here in a bit, and he goes way faster than these two. And I know it's because he's the black guy, and it's the 80s, and therefore he must die and die first. Which is all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He goes way faster than these two.
Which is a shame, because I like Bubba.
Yeah.
I think Bubba is he's just a cool character because he's the only one in there who isn't a little bit mad.
He's the
Yeah.
grown-up.
Yeah. They're eating his pants. Now, anyone don't want to get to his little underpants again? Anybody under the impression that the machine is, for all intents and purposes, sentient? Or do you think it's being controlled from the other side?
I assumed it was the doctor on the other side doing it.
Yeah, it's being controlled.
I don't know why the bees just appeared out of nowhere, though. Or the little tiny dimension balls.
I'll never play the better again.
That's so bad. You can tell he's just under the floor.
Yeah.
Now, come on, my dear. Let's have sex. And remember...
Time for you to get whipped. Go whip it. Whip it into shape. Shape it up. Now, I mentioned before how this in Reanimator inspired the Splatterhouse series.
Yes.
This thing here is an end-of-level boss.
Is it the first level boss?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. It's a little different, but no, I can see it.
It's only different because it was done in 16-bit sprites.
No, it's a lot fatter.
Yeah.
It has less leg. It's more dragging its ass across the floor than anything else. I remember you beat it and its stomach explodes and you had to avoid the acid when it died. I really did like the effect here, because he's got a human face that moves and emotes and it's on this weird, bizarre
I've
hinge.
often tried to work out how they've done it. And what it is just some very clever photography.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that makes sense. That makes the most sense. But yeah, it's really good. It's pretty seamless.
Well, if you notice how seriously panned in it is
yeah.
when he's emoting, it's so you can't see everything underneath.
Yeah, it's got a built-up chin and the extends out the back. Yeah.
Yeah. It still works. It still works really well, I'd say.
Oh yeah. If there's one thing that Gordon knows how to do, it's how to do good effects on the cheap.
This really takes the whole meaning of dickhead to a whole new level, doesn't it? It's so beautiful. I do like the built-up Jeffrey Combs head as well. So it's all angular and pointy. Like, it's not just like his pectoral glands kind of gotten weird. It's like his entire head's just misshapen.
Yeah. It's like his brain's growing out, isn't it?
Yeah.
So much like Reanimator, Gordon actually had a full medical staff working with him on this just to get the gore right.
Oh, really?
Everything. So it's not made up gore. Everything is right. It's just pushed to the nth level, I suppose is the best way to put it.
Huh.
I'm back.
Da, 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 da. Ba, 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 ba.
This once again is where we get all Lovecraftian because the unknowable is the monster here again.
Hmm.
So we have a guy who is a gateway, whilst the horror is coming from the fact that there is an entire new set of dimensions there, and it's trying to get through. Much like Event Horizon. It's that sort of horror.
I wouldn't say it's trying to get through. He's the doctor who's now part of that dimension is trying to get through himself. I don't think that actual dimension is...
Well, no, what I'm meaning is that the whole new set of reality, everything you wouldn't expect. The new rules, I think is the best way I can put it.
Okay.
The way that you don't expect the rules of the world to work. Oh, God, that looks just foul.
Awful, isn't it?
Not a bad effect. It just looks like something you don't want to see.
Come here, you little man. Come here.
Oh.
Come here, you fuck.
I always feel quite icky because it's like a really bad shit.
From your head.
Well, that's a sphincter. They've modelled that on a sphincter. Oh, God, it makes me unhappy.
That is uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine it's too pleasant to have come out of your head either. When it did pop out of his head, Jeffrey did have his eyes open and he was blinking.
Yes.
And then he wasn't again, which is weird.
Because it went away again.
Yeah, but that wasn't really that wasn't really shown with the shot.
No, it's not. It was either bad editing or a bad bit of storytelling.
Yeah, bad editing, or they just didn't have enough shots to make up for that mistake.
So now we all have to go back to the mansion, including...
Yay! Let's put a hockey mask on and get ourselves a giant baseball bat. And do this right.
I always mean to check to see if there's any kind of Splatterhouse-inspired movies out there.
I never played the new version of Splatterhouse, the one for the Xbox. I heard it was mediocre.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Oh, you played it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed.
Oh.
Go on, kick him in the balls.
Did you see how big fake Al Baldwin's mouth was when he turned around there? Like he was yawning on set and then just kind of nicely rolled into his lines.
I am fairly convinced that you're right. He is a Baldwin.
He really looks like one of the Baldwins.
He does look like he would be there suckling on Alex's teat.
Yeah. Maybe he's one of the orphan children of the Baldwin family.
Maybe. He's one of the ones that weren't allowed. Maybe he ate the rest of that litter. No, that's why he's so chunky.
Now, Tricky, obviously you mentioned that the doctor here didn't like our little slutty girl here, and she takes it to a little bit of an extreme level, I would say.
She still hates her because she used to be hot. She no longer is.
Do you see elements of Harley Quinn here?
What escaping mental patient?
Well, she started off as a psychologist, then fell in love with the nutter, and is now being institutionalized herself.
No, I could see that. Are you saying Bruce Timm watched this movie and went, we'll just adapt this lady?
Possibly.
That would be a great story.
She is blonde.
She is. She is pretty crazy by the end of this movie.
Oh yeah, no, she know Jeffrey emote.
I can't help but think of the TV series about the aliens at this point.
Alien Nation.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
The one of the aliens got drunk on sour milk.
Oh, God.
Alien Nation's a good film and a better series.
Yes, I agree. Can't walk straight. Evil is in my brain.
Evil in the brain.
It's insane in the membrane.
Oh, look, fruit.
Spinach, apparently. No, can't eat it. It's not human flesh. Need human flesh. I would love to know how they got Coombs to do this. It's like, okay, Coombs, now act like something is trying to get through your brain. Okay.
I love how he keeps rolling his eyes up into his head.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense, but it just looks a bit silly. But like you say, how else would you do it? I really do like the third eye penis eyesight.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of shit. Everything's got a yellow outline. Except from brain that light pink.
We have bought an Amstrad.
Right. Now, I would like to know the basis for this.
Well, the electroshock.
Yeah. Because they don't really have a basis for electroshock therapy at this point.
Well, it was basically she was being a bitch. The ready was like, even the nurse went, we don't do this in the hospital. Actually, she does get a man wrapped around her at some point, so, you know. Doesn't she, Gruff?
Oh, yes.
She actually gets a real good training. Doesn't she, Gruff?
I like how throughout this film you've come up with some very interesting sentences, which aren't wrong. But they're just looking at the world in a slightly different way.
It's because I don't want to spoil it for Tricky because he hasn't seen it.
Brains. Brains.
I like his reaction there, for the realization what he's
adding. By the way, he said it's delicious. No.
This brain is raw.
Oh.
I would like to know why he needs brains.
Why
he needs
brains. The pectoral gland he's trying to eat.
It needs replenishment.
Maybe it takes it out of you, make it grow so much, so you need more brain matter to fill it. Who knows?
You need more.
Maybe it's because he's turning into one of the weird buggy things that we see by the end of the movie.
Hey, boy, I heard you need some brains in your brains.
Brains in your brains.
Combs once again just doing not subtle acting, but not theatrical camp acting.
It's hard to describe it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
being Combs. Oh man, he looks like Peter Weller in RoboCop there.
He does, yeah. You have fresh brains. I can stick it out your eye.
Yeah, I told you should get a good tongue.
He has no balls.
But she's loving it.
She was.
She really looks like she's enjoying it.
Maybe she is. I can't ever think of electroshock therapy without thinking of that machine from Return to Oz.
Ooh.
I've never seen Return to Oz.
Oh, that was some good nightmare fuel.
Yeah, TikTok is awesome.
And the Wheelers.
Oh.
I'm guessing Return to Oz is not quite like actual Wizard of Oz then.
Yes, it's a direct sequel. It's just nightmare fuel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It sounds a bit more bizarre than Wizard of Oz, because Wizard of Oz was just kind of, happy-go-lucky times with the family.
Wizard of Oz is quite dark.
I'll have to tell you which for it. I've never actually watched it all the way through.
I have an interesting comparison to make.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going to compare this to Wizard of Oz.
This movie.
Yep.
I say we will need an explanation.
I was saying before about this is probably one of the first, the original story being written in 1920, probably one of the first attempts at an alternate reality story.
Okay.
But you have the Wizard of Oz books from the, when were they written?
Oh, billions of years ago.
I'm going to say 1800s.
Yeah, I would incline to agree. I'm going to check this because I don't like my facts to be wrong.
There were 7 books there. 1916. Yeah.
1939 was the film. 1901.
Wow. A few years ago.
Yeah. Over 100. Oh, God.
So does that make you feel old?
No. It's kind of surprising. So I'd be... Listeners, if you'd like to throw up a alternate reality story that was written before The Wizard of Oz, I would be interested to know.
Beowulf.
No.
The Bible Ages.
I was going to say, I was going to take part of Cole. New Testament.
The Old Testament's. Jinx.
Now we must have a thumb war.
She just needed it. Everything about Jeffrey's sexy, even when he's mutating into a horrible monster.
Even when he's mutating into Peter Weller.
Especially when he's mutating into a horrible monster. That's when he's at his sexiest. That's what the ladies love. All the ladies love him.
I don't think Harley's okay.
No, she's a long way from okay. Eyeballs everywhere.
I do like how he drinks people's brain from the little eye sockets.
Yeah. Well,
What did the hobo have on his all over him, because he just had green on him?
a bit of Ichor.
Well, the hobo.
Yeah. Hobos and their Ichor.
What, from the street?
I think your friend, he's got Ichor on him.
Yeah.
You've seen Necronomicon. You know what happens to the homeless.
Yeah, this is true.
Miskatonic Medical Center.
Always here to help.
We're back on Benevolent Street. Fucking Benevolent Street.
Meanwhile, on Big 666 Benevolent Street.
3 doors down from 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
She's got the keys.
No, they're not keys. She's just got a bit of dog leg.
Come here, dog. You're the key to the future. Oh.
Ruby-dooby-doo.
I'm going to shoot the thing that rigged me.
Well, it's nice of you to come out and admit it now, Tricky.
Is that a xylophone?
What's a yes?
Oh, that one's got a head.
That's Bubba.
He's got a head. Isn't it nice that Bubba died with a head? Very little in the way of legs.
So all he was, big ass pair of head. I don't even know what that means. Nose. No. Oh well. There you go.
Careful. Careful. Set the timer.
That's the Joker said only chimps have a countdown for a bomb. Which is true. It's better when you can set it off because then it's gone. It's gone baboom. That's the technical term for it as well.
Well,
Ba-boom.
I think it's admirable she had time to take a bomb.
Yeah, You gotta do what you gotta do, Mr. Tricker.
This was your idea to use these.
A flight of trickies.
Isn't it a good thing that he was a sick S&M loving freak?
Yeah.
It's handy, isn't it?
Well, like I always say, you never know when you might need a bit of S&M. And
I'm surprised the new builds don't include these things now.
every home should have S&M in them.
I think you haven't been to the Logan Place Fungin there.
No, I have been to his fudging. Oh, that sounds even worse. The fudging.
I would love to know how they got this thing to move like that. It is just unpleasant, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love you. Oh, that makes me wince.
I feel sorry for your boyfriend.
And Dr. Pretorius is now gonna fuck you up.
It's actually a little bit phallic when she bites it off, isn't it? Is that meant to be empowering for women? Maybe it is. Maybe it's to make up for the fact now she was in bondage gear, wanting to hump everything in sight earlier on.
I know it makes me uncomfortable in my regions.
It doesn't get me going, I'll be honest.
That's what Mama did in Judge Dredd, wasn't it?
That's true. Well, she didn't bite it off from her head, but yeah. It looks like he's got a little pooper on the front of his head now.
Could have said it's good acting from the head.
Mm-hmm. The most sensual pleasure growth.
No, you can't help but put a little Hellraiser in this, can you?
No.
At this point, it just feels like somebody not as much now, but just there when he was talking, you can't help but feel, somebody watched Hellraiser.
Sent me a copy of that yet.
I'm sorry.
You're a horrible person, Grove.
Well, fuck you.
I know you used to say only read the book.
No. I didn't like the shot of the thing moving forward and the little arm moving left and right. It looked very ridiculous.
Yeah. I've often wondered what this thing's meant to be.
Giant ants.
Oh, I can't help but think of some of the stranger creatures from the Lovecraft myths.
Is it never actually named?
And not to my knowledge. Not that I've ever noticed.
Yeah. Because he's got a segmented body, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. I'd like to say it's probably one of the... hang on a sec.
Did that meet?
Well, remember movement attracts their attention.
That's just Coombs.
What? Coombs attracts their attention.
Yes. They don't see anything unless Coombs is moving.
Is this where she self off and gets away with it?
But no thanks to those meddling kids. This would be a really good Scooby-Doo mystery incorporated adventure. We just need a fancy trap from Fred.
The only way I can describe it is that thing looks like a fully grown version of the little things that eat marrow in Omnicom.
Oh, yeah, the drink the bone marrow. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Which
I
think I just remember they were meant to be. I never liked that stuff.
No, yeah, that was...
the bone marrow drinking. It was one that settled quite badly.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my God, Jesus. Yeah. Just
we'll
like
talk about that another day.
And a soda. It even had that sound effect, which made it worse.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So anyway,
the guy inside the head really does an amazing job. He
does his so well,
and
it's pretty good as well.
Yeah.
What the?
You can't stop him, but he's immortal. Yep.
He's reanimated himself.
I took this as the physical manifestation of the mind, the two minds within the one body fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it has to be, doesn't it?
We didn't get fully naked Coombs, though.
Which, once again, it doesn't have...
Yes.
Just remind you of the thing, doesn't it? Those sort of tendrils of meat and flesh whipping around. I can't help but think that a lot of films of the time got used as bases.
Probably, yeah.
For what we're seeing in front of us.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, you've got two penis skulls attacking each other.
They are extremely phallic. It's
painfully so. A lot of this film is just...
I liked... I want to believe that they're servo skulls from Warhammer because it makes it a little less sick and penisy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
they're not.
Right.
They are penis skulls, but, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, Tricky?
She's dead.
No, it's alright, she's fine.
She hasn't just hurt her. She hasn't just hurt her knee. She's fucking dead. She just fell 2 stories.
Like, she more than just hurt her knee. It is kind of sticking through her leg.
Yeah. The first time I watched this, I thought she actually lost her leg.
Yeah, I thought that was a second. Yeah.
I love her reaction.
Don't just stand there.
Yeah, she did what they do. They come over and tell her that the fire engine's coming. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, she's got a dog back.
That's the friendest dog.
Did it survive? Or did something let it survive?
It's the crawling chaos. The devil lives next door.
Denver, the crawling chaos.
The dog does... Did you notice how the dog just didn't give a shit about everything that's going on?
Yeah. Dog's much more interested in the cat you can see over there. Now, this is something slightly ties more into the Lovecraftian nature of stories than most of this film's been.
Yeah.
She's now mad.
Oh, yeah.
And she does a very good job of being mad. Of her mind.
Not as good as Sam Neill.
Breaking down. Oh, well.
But she does a good job, a stellar job.
And there you have it. No more madness for you. I like to think that somebody's got up with a bolt gun.
I like to imagine that everybody just left her, just went back home. Just left her there laughing because she's loving it.
Yeah. Just
she can't be that bad. Look how much she's enjoying life.
Notice how little there isn't.
It's a short one.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. What did you think of From Beyond? We'll start with the guest, as always, Mr. Tricky.
It's an interesting little tale. There's some nudity, both male and female. Yeah, it's very... Everybody who visits that room is fucked, apart from the policeman.
Yes. Well, that's an interesting point. What was he? Was he a policeman? Was he a security guard? What was it?
A bubba. Did you mention it's something to do with the DA? Because the Alec Baldwin lookalike says the DA is going to chew his ass. So it's something to do with the DA, or God knows what.
I'm sorry, that man has got nothing to do with the DA office.
You don't know.
I don't care what anyone says. Bubba has nothing whatsoever to do with any branch of the DA's office.
Does not respect his authorities.
I expect his authority, but I don't think he had anything to do with any district attorney the world has.
He was just there. He just appeared one day and was like, I'm going to be on the force.
I'm going to be...
Sorry. I mean, I'm going to be the force.
I'm going to be
LaForge. Yeah, he's going to be Jody LaForge. I like that.
And you don't get a choice in this.
Too late for you.
But no, it's totally enjoyable. Yeah, Robert Kurtzman, with that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a silly bit of camp.
Yeah, as you said, it's, what is it, 2 locations, really?
Yeah, the house and the asylum.
Asylum, yeah. Some interesting effects, no, they're really enjoyable.
Okay. From what you've read of the Lovecraft mythos, how does it fit together? Does it feel like a proper Lovecraftian tale to you, or...?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you've got people who are investigating something that they probably shouldn't be investigating. They make a breakthrough, and then they're screwed. And anybody who comes into contact with them is also screwed.
Yeah, okay.
That's pretty much it.
Oh, then we'll move to you then, Andy.
Well, only Lovecraft for me is basically somebody saying, don't go through that door, but I want to go through that door. Don't go through that door. I'm going to go through that door. I went through the door. Do you feel you should have gone through the door? I wish I hadn't gone through the door.
Oh, fucking target.
It's not usually that calm, though, is it? It's not, oh, I wish I hadn't gone through that door. It's more, the beast. It's coming up the stairs. It knows I'm here. Oh, my God.
They took my face.
They took my mind, Justin.
Are you suggesting with all your blah, 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 that it's actually Mr. Blobby who was on the other side of the dimension?
Mr. Blobby.
Because I could see Mr. Blobby as a horrible Lovecraftian creation.
Well, Zebig, is it?
No, Mr. Blobby.
Creation.
Mr. Blobby was pretty fucking terrifying as a kid. A giant pink thing with yellow dots that kept going blobby. And that face. Jesus, that face. Jesus. Yeah,
Andy.
It's not too bad. There's really not a whole amount to it, in fairness. It's one of those kind of old schooly horror movies where you can sit down and get snug with the ladies, I guess. There's not as much to it as, say, In the Mouth of Madness. It's not bad though. It's enjoyable enough.
No, it's a perfectly serviceable film. I'd agree with you. There isn't a huge amount you can talk about. Mostly due to the fact that the original story is like 6 pages.
Is that how long it was? Jesus.
Oh yeah. It was just a short story. Maybe more, maybe about 10. But it's not a long story in any way, shape, or form. It's not like Dagon, which is...
It's actually 2, if you've heard me anything, right? It's the movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, well, that's true, yeah, because the Dagon, the movie, takes a lot from Shadow over Innsmouth, which is quite a long, short story, if you see what I mean. They flesh it out really well. The thing that I'd never quite understand with this film is the rampant sexual scenes in it. Not just that, all the phallic monstrosities that take place, the fact that her almost awakening more than anything else, it seems to be just about as much a central plot as the monsters trying to get through the interdimensional portal.
It's them trying to get through hoods.
Indeed, well, it's her trying to get her interdimensional.
Well, she got it opened by a disgusting creature.
Mm-hmm. The fact is that because of the sheer lack of subtlety in that subplot, it doesn't come across as being a story. It just comes across as a bit of titillation, which I think is no more than it was ever trying to be. It's the Roger Corman level of subtlety when it comes to women.
Just as you said before, though, it's 80s schlock.
Yes,
it's ticking boxes.
Yeah, completely. This isn't a bad film in any way, shape, or form, so I don't want anyone to think I'm tearing it apart, because I'm not. I find sort of, when it comes to this kind of film, because there isn't a huge amount of substance in the film itself, I find myself looking at the elements around it, the aspects that go into making these type of films, and I just find it fascinating that they could kind of get away with that type of thing. You want to be in this film? Get your boobs out, lass.
Well, that was, to be fair, that's still true.
A lot
less now.
Even in dumb movies.
Not so much trash.
It was the 80s. They could do whatever they wanted. No one cared. It's the 80s.
I still feel she's a strange choice for the lead, though.
Very much so.
What makes you say that?
She doesn't have the body for it. It's as simple as that. I mean,
So sexist, Tricky.
well, they cast her for a reason.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, what you're going at here is the fact that she's not a scream queen. She's
She could not star in Vampirella.
no, she's not the buxom woman who would turn up in like 4 or 5 films and never be heard from again.
Yeah.
Purely because she got droopy. It's a
Wow.
it's a horrible thing to say, but it's not.
We have to treat this as it is.
I'm actually going to look at Barbara Crampton's film star. Hang on, she was... No way.
What?
She was in Reanimator.
Yeah?
I didn't actually realise it was the same
I never
actress.
it's the same one.
Filmed the same weekend.
She
No,
looked
no,
a lot
the-
better in Reanimator.
This film was actually made at the same time that Gordon was making another film called Dolls. He was making 2 films at the same time at the same stage.
Wow.
She's actually had a very varied career.
In terms of quality or in terms of roles, do you mean?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
From Days of Our Lives, seriously,
Wow.
in 1983. Body Double, Reanimator, Prince of Bel-Air. She was in the Prince of Bel-Air movie. She was in Chopping Mall. Oh man, I have to rewatch. Well, any excuse to rewatch Chopping Mall. Amazing film. She was in Puppet Master, Trances 2, Dances with Sharks. Okay. Robot Wars.
Wait,
Just
what is
so free?
What is Dances with Sharks?
I will tell you in a second.
It's like walking with dinosaurs.
I'm hoping it's more like Dances with Wolves, but they try and understand the shark and live with it.
Civil War, Episode 2, Season 2, Episode 13, Dances with Sharks. That's all it says.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you, context.
Yes, context is a wonderful thing.
Ah.
But, yeah, I know exactly where Tricky's coming from. My point is that she isn't the Scream Queen. She isn't getting work based on looks until she doesn't have those looks anymore. I know that's a horrible thing to say, but that's the way that movie making happened for a long, long time. Just because it's unpleasant doesn't mean that you should shy away from it.
Well, you're right. You're right.
You know, but I think she does a very good job with what she's got. At the beginning, she does, even though she does look a bit young, okay, fair enough, but she does look like the psychiatrist, and she acts like the psychiatrist. It's later on when she sort of loses the pent-up, I don't know, aggression, I suppose would be the term.
Yeah, when the inhibitions go, it becomes a bit awkward.
Very much so.
But
Because-
perhaps that's the point.
Yeah, it could well be. And if that is the point, it works very well.
Or was it necessary?
You see, there is the question: is half the stuff in these films necessary? The amount of gore that you get, here are boobs, here is gore, but hey,
You?
Down this path lies madness, because none of this is necessary.
well, no. All right, then, is it necessary to the internal plot? Is it necessary to the media that we are currently enjoying, so to speak?
If you remove that from the plot, how do you show her first steps into madness? How do you show that she's no longer the person she was when she came into the house?
My favorite color is blue. No, I know exactly what you're saying. It's just, I don't know, I find the idea of sexualization in these films an interesting one because it seems to be less of a storytelling technique and more of a bums on seats technique. It's, you know what you're going to get from these films, so why don't you just buy your tickets?
Maybe they knew that and they worked it in, like Tricky said, and explained it as the first step to madness.
Yep. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. It's just an interesting thing, I think. I'm obviously alone here. Oh,
No, you're right. I mean, as we said before, though, you need your extreme gore moment, you need your topless scene, you need your plot setup, you need your police guy, you need your evil woman who gets her comeuppance in the end, you need your friendly neighbour with the weird dog. Yeah, this is how you make a film, so to speak.
Yeah, this is how you make one of these films anyway. Yeah, definitely. Would you like to know that the plot keywords from Beyond are on IMDb?
If tentacle isn't there, I'm going to be upset.
Right, so you got experiment, okay, pineal gland, which as a plot keyword I'm finding quite interesting. I want to know. So let's look at the best pineal glands. There's actually quite a few. All right, manic laughter, sleeping women, strange love, fire axe, human experiment, searching for cure, decapitation, dominatrix, body horror, wrong suspect, monster, mad scientist, gross out, jumping through a window, well dead, eye gouging, power lust, vomit, women with glasses, eating brains, male masturbation, impotence, straitjacket, sex drive, soul survivor, H.P. Lovecraft, sexual awakening, another dimension, seduction, blood, police officer killed, bald man, head bitten off, licking someone, sex, strapped down, soul black character dies cliche, briefs, masturbation, know-it-all, mutant, reverse footage, torture, male rear nudity, bondage, wound, sleeping underwear, okay, pale-chested male, sleeping in cancer, so it's just a sleeping underwear, but I'm sure it's meant to be sleeping
in
psychiatrist gun.
Okay, I forget hyper sleeping underwear. Like underwear is a sleep.
Underwear's in the cupboard, sleeping.
Oh, and sadist. I missed out sadist. Sorry.
So I think when's the impotence?
Well, I'm assuming that's what the thing in the head was, wasn't it?
Well, no, he mentions Herbert West, will call him, mentions to the big monster that he's impotent. And that's how he gets away from Butter.
I don't think he meant it in the kind of classic impotent way, though. As in, he can't do anything.
He was saying that you can't get women off. That's why you've eaten them in this torture chamber kind of thing. You don't know what real pleasure is because you can't get it up.
Oh, yes, you're absolutely right there. Okay. I completely missed that. So anyhow, with that, I think we will close this down for the night. Is there anything anybody would like to add?
No, I don't think so.
No. As I say, the film itself isn't much, but it is an enjoyable movie.
It's worth a watch, I'd say.
I think when we come back, we'll either have the worst film of this run to go through, or I think we might end up having one of the best.
Really? Oh.
It depends on how I feel.
Oh, dear.
Same film.
And I think as of next week, we're going to try and get Twitter involved as well.
Ooh, all right.
I think so. Okay, then.
We're
going to try and get some interaction going, because we've been going for a little while now, and I think people have got the gist of what we're doing, so let's get some other people. Let's get people enjoying themselves. Getting people in. Getting women strapped up. Hang on, what? So...
No, if you go...
So with that, Mr. Tricky, where can people find you on the World Wide Web?
At Tricky1414 on Twitter is probably the best place to find me. I'm in semi-retirement.
Yes, I've been meaning to ask you that.
I enjoyed a bit of semi-retirement. I'll come back and do stuff, but at the moment I'm just enjoying the time.
Okay. Best good. Andy, for those of you who might have missed it, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at CCTFW, all in capitals. You can find me on the FullMetalHero.com website on a podcast called Moonbase 2. And it's a Transformers podcast, sir.
What are they?
The toys.
Yeah, toys for kids.
And a franchise. So's Lovecraft.
Silly rabbit. Lovecraft was for kids.
Could you imagine if for kids? My God. And you can also find me on YouTube, and I'm known there as Cobra Commander TFW.
Fantastic. And as usual, you can find me at Grufflock on Twitter. Sorry, I've got too many names, too many personalities. You can find me at Metro Man. You can find me at Grufflock on Twitter. You can find me under the name Grufflock on YouTube or the Old Oil House on YouTube. You can find me at www.oldoilhouse.co.uk and nerdsphere.blogspot.com. I'm also on Facebook, but that way lies madness. Search if you dare. And with that, we are going to call this a night and say goodbye to you all. I'm going to leave you with Humans Are Such Easy Prey. Good night.
Fun for all the family. Hostage. For B-dates.